Yo, what's up, everyone? I got a rare one for you today. This is the Mongoose from Proyo Playmaxx. Honestly, I didn't think I'd ever see one in the wild, get to hold one. This was sent to me for my friend Nick, and we'll go into it here real quick. This is, aluminum hub. You got the O-ring weight ring, size A bearing. Uses Proyo's famous brake pads, and unlike the Cold Fusion where the teeth were milled in there, this is actually just a fully recessed area, and so then it actually allows the teeth to grab on a bit better. And put her back together here. And so, I mean, you may be wondering, how does it play? Well, as it's sold here with the O-ring weight rings, it's about 30 grams, and this plays horribly. I'll be honest with you. I love Proyo yo-yos. The Bumblebee GT was my first bearing yo-yo, and it's still one of my favorites. Um, This is, gap wise, same here. So this is it compared to a Bumblebee. So you're looking at this is not a wide yo-yo. You don't have a lot of catch through area, and you really don't have any mass per se to generate spin time. So why did Proyo make this, you may be wondering? Well, in order to tell you that story, we have to go back in time. So this is the history of the mongoose as I heard it. So this started, the mongoose came out in 2000, probably around 25 bucks. I don't remember it being that cheap, but who knows? It very well could have been. That's what the internet said, so it's got to be true, right? Uh, but in 97, Henry's released the Viper. So this is what, you know, a lot of the early off-string players, Hiranori, Taka, everyone used this for off-string. So this was made by Henry's, a German company known for their Diablos. So you have this soft, cushiony shell, aluminum hub. You can actually, Henry's actually has a patent on the, removable shells, which will come up here shortly. So you can just flick these guys off. They don't go back on as easily, so I won't fully take that off. It also sort of had this adjustable gap. It uses a D-size bearing, but there's no response per se. Um, some of the people use dots, like super glued dots onto the yo-yo to create like response bumps. There was a lot of early mods with this guy. And however, so I'll show you this. So this was 65 millimeters in diameter, which was crazy big at the time, at only 34 millimeters wide. So this is compared to a freehand one. So these guys came in 2001 and they were super wide at the time. So diameter wise, you can see. So that happened. This was 97. In 99, Henry's, uh, evolved their line. So they came out with a, modified shape here, similar to the, Bumblebee or Spintastics, what, Technic, Tornado, that type of shape. And they had, this is the Tiger Snake. They also had aluminum hub version called the Coral Snake. I didn't have one of those in the collection, or that would have made this video better. So this has a race disc with um, dots in it, or dots, holes, whatever you want to call it, for response. And I think they also had different axle systems. So this is plastic transaxle. They also had the bearing. They had a wooden axle. So, and they also had a wooden transaxle, which was even weirder. However, the aluminum version had an inverted starburst on it, and that is where the drama begins. So, Proyo sued Henry's for the inverted starburst system, and so there was a huge legal back and forth. I'm only assuming. I don't know. Could have just been quick and painless. Not sure. Anyhow, the coral snake ended up changing the starburst pattern to comply with Playmaxx's, I guess, say cease and desist lawsuit, whatever might have ensued. Um, the mongoose here came from that because obviously a cobra's only known predator is a mongoose, so they had it was a cheeky take on that. We got this notch here, which can fit viper shells. So they couldn't, Playmaxx Proyo couldn't sell the mongoose with, shells of a sort because that would be in violation of Henry's patent. So they just sold it with the O-rings, and customers could choose to use viper shells on it if they wanted to. And pretty much every one of these that I saw, um, online and everything, that's what people did. They used viper shells because this played horribly with the O-rings. Let's face it. And honestly, this with viper shells plays, in my opinion, better than a viper. Just if you're using it for single A. I didn't go through the process of double A because I have a tendency to mess things up, and this was too expensive to mess up. So, so this actually plays much better with Viper shells. However, what Proyo did back then, they also released, or they didn't release, they didn't ever sell. They were still trying to manufacture, trying to produce the what they called the string pilot shells, which from what I could tell online was similar um, to their GT shape. And so that's what this is. Power 3D printing. I was able to create some GT shells for the Mongoose. So, and it, with the shells, it, um, you know, puts it around 60 grams, which makes it really nice, really good player, um, really good weight distribution. I also made printed hubs because I got tired of, testing on this guy because, again, I was afraid of damaging it, on, off shells, measuring. So I just made hubs. That way I could keep testing, and then I would have mongoose shells when I was done, and wham bam, thank you, ma'am. So you got the GT shape. So they called the string pilot, fit on here, and it played great. However, they weren't ever released. And now 25 years later, a lot of the samples that are out there that, were given out to friends and everything, are actually starting to crack just because the rubber and the plastic's degrading with time and heat and, thermal changes, because that's a real thing. Check out your yo-yo jams. They're not doing so swell either. Um, so yeah, that's managed to create these guys. So had a lot of fun with it, and got to get the mongoose back to Nick. Got him some shells, and yeah, you may be wondering. Yes, the shells do fit Viper hubs as well. Which so yeah, Viper shells fit mongoose. Mongoose shells fit Viper. It's one big dysfunctional family, I would say. So. This is, again, the mongoose. So, if you enjoyed this history lesson, craziness from yo-yo times past, let me know. And thank you, Nick, for sending this along. And, if you want to see more history stuff, stuff from my collection, thrown out there, then let me know. Till next time, have a great day. Bye bye.